I knew it. And yeah, you will never see Dillon Danis at a UFC fight ever again.
Yeah.
Say a lot of bad things about our team, and today he coming and somebody just meet him. He talk about this guy's bad, and today the guys just meet him.
What about this whole Dillon Danis thing, man? He was sort of baiting the team cage site UFC 322. Dana White has now said he's been banned from every UFC event going forward. How crazy was that when you heard what happened cage side as you guys are getting ready to go out?
Yeah, you know, that guy, I mean, why doesn't he grow up? I mean, what the hell's he doing? I mean, I read, you know, I heard Dana's speech regarding that, about how he was sitting in the fighter section and sitting where Team Habib was to boot. I mean, come on, dude. You know you're asking for trouble. And then they showed me the videos of what he was showing Ali and Islam in a relationship type embrace. And then he was doing things with a porn star in Islam embracing. And then he's talking crap on other things. I mean, what do you expect when you do that? And you go and you sit where the guys are sitting and you're riling them up with big, huge disrespect. I mean, this guy, you know, it's like when Logan Paul's girlfriend went after him, rightfully so, because he was making her look like something she wasn't. So she sued his ass. And then, that you know, you got to stop that stuff, you know? It's like, stop picking on people's religion, man. That's what he was doing. He was making fun of it.
Dillon Danis is officially banned from ever attending a UFC event again, and it all stems from one chaotic moment at Madison Square Garden. What was supposed to be a normal fight night turned into a full-blown cage-side disaster, with Danis right in the middle of it. Now fans are asking, what exactly happened, and why did it get this bad?
And he was moving around, sitting in fighter seats and not sitting in his own seat that he had. He had a ticket. And they said, do you want us to throw him out of here? And I said, he has a ticket? And I said, yeah. And, you know, they told me, they said, Masvidal said he's going to fuck him up on site.
During the event at MSG, things exploded when Dillon Danis got into a heated back and forth with members of Islam Makhachev's team. The argument turned physical fast. Several fighters from Makhachev's camp, including Magomed Zainikov, were seen throwing punches at Danis right beside the cage. The chaos erupted just inches away from Jack Della Madalena's wife and mother, making the scene even more dangerous. Security rushed in, but both sides kept charging at each other until they were finally separated and escorted backstage. Dana White later confirmed in the press conference that no charges were being filed, but he made one thing very clear: Danis is done with the UFC. Despite police and security stepping in, both sides kept pushing and charging at one another for several minutes before they were finally separated and escorted backstage. This wasn't an isolated clash either. The bad blood between Danis and Makhachev's camp goes back years, stemming from the infamous post-fight brawl after Khabib's win over Conor McGregor. Dana talked about how the whole situation could have been avoided. He said he already knew Danis was moving around and sitting in seats that were not his, and that it created problems even before the fight started. He admitted he allowed him to stay because Danis had a valid ticket, but he did not expect things to blow up the way they did.
But I was right there on press row when that crazy brawl broke out with Dillon Danis and the member of Habib's team and stuff. Can you just tell us how disappointed you were to see that and any insight into the fallout?
I blame myself for that, actually. They came back and told me right before I walked out for the main card that Dillon Danis was here and he was moving around sitting in fighter seats and not sitting in his own seat that he had. He had a ticket. And they said, do you want us to throw him out of here? And I said, he has a ticket? And I said, yeah. And, you know, they told me, they said, Masvidal said he's going to fuck him up on site. And I said, well, where's Masvidal sitting? He said, well, he's 6 or 7 rows away from Masvidal. I said, well, if the guy has a ticket, let him sit in his seat and let him do what he's doing and keep an eye on him. It never even crossed my mind, as stupid as this could be, that the entire Muslim Brotherhood was here tonight in the first 5 rows for Islam. And as soon as it broke out, I was over on the other side, and I go, fuck. I know exactly what that is. I knew it. And, yeah, you will never see Dillon Danis.
He said that even though the situation got messy, the UFC did not plan on pressing charges. Security took everyone downstairs and asked if he wanted to take legal action, but he refused. He said this was the fight world and things happened, although he felt he could have stopped this one earlier. He added that this incident, added to everything else in the past, meant Danis would not be allowed at UFC events again.
A UFC fight ever again.
Yeah. I was gonna say he's wanted badly to come in this company, and he said you guys don't want to sign him because he makes too much trouble. I guess point made.
Well, that and a lot of other reasons,
Yeah,
but yeah, you'll never see him at another fight. So they called me from downstairs and they said, "We got him down here. Do you want to press charges and have him arrested?" And I said, "No, we don't want to press charges. This is the fight business, man. You know how I feel about this shit. You know, and I could have prevented this tonight, and I messed up.
Yeah. Anyone else get arrested or anything like that in the fall?
Not that I'm aware of. No, we're not pressing charges. I'm not speaking for MSG or
Right.
anybody else that was involved in this thing. I don't know, but we, the UFC, are not pressing charges against anybody."
Islam talked about how this whole thing had been building for years. He said when someone spoke about you for so long, there came a moment when they finally had to face you. He felt Danis showed up acting like nothing happened, and that was what set people off. Islam said Danis kept saying things about their team for years, then walked in as if he did not expect any reaction. He also said the moment Danis ran into people he had been talking about, things simply went how they went. From his point of view, Danis never stood by the things he said, and the situation unfolded fast when he heard Dana had banned him from UFC events. Islam felt that was not enough, and said that maybe the country should do the same.
Obviously getting ready for the fight backstage, and a huge brawl breaks out with some of your teammates and Dillon Danis. Dana was in here talking about it. He said it was his fault letting them sit too close to each other, but was that a distraction at all, or what did you think of all that?
When you talk about someone like last 5 years, you talk about someone, when you meet them, как будет, ты должен отвечать за свои слова.
You have to answer to what you said.
You have to answer what you said, you know. And today, I don't think he answered, you know. And he still say a lot of bad things about our team. And today, he coming and somebody just meet him. He talk about this guy's bad, and today the guys just meet him. That's it.
Dana said he's banned from UFC events for life, so he'll never be back to one.
He have to ban from this country also.
And while that whole Dillon moment had everyone talking, the UFC experts' reactions to the fight itself added a completely different kind of energy, starting with Michael Bisping talked about the way Islam settled in right away and how Jack never really got to find his rhythm. You could hear that Bisping saw the small moments fans might have missed, especially the little reactions between rounds. He didn't spell everything out, but it was clear he noticed how the fight slowly slipped away from Jack, even when he tried to adjust.
Della Maddalena. So, as I said, it was domination. It was an annihilation. It was one-way traffic from start to finish, okay? We knew Islam was going to go out there and try to out-wrestle him. That's what he did. He was very successful. He took him down every single round, and the longer the fight went, the easier the takedowns became. Now, Jack, according to his coach, was stuck in the mud. He wasn't moving the feet quite as much. And at the end of every round, his coach, and I'm sure they have a great relationship, so they understand each other, should I say.
Then he pointed out the body language that told its own story. He didn't explain every detail, leaving space for the clip to show it. But he brought up how Jack looked more stuck as each round passed, and how Islam made every exchange heavier. You could tell Bisping respected Jack for not folding, even when the pressure kept building.
As the fight was going on, you was just looking more and more deflated, dejected, defeated. DC and Rogan were saying that he was grimacing. He was grimacing in pain. I'm sure that some of the elbows and the punches and the calf kicks were all hurting. But I think for the most part, it was just the fact that he couldn't do anything. He was getting taken down. He was getting controlled. He did do a good job of not.
After that, he talked about the bigger picture. Bisping didn't dive into everything Islam did. He kept some things vague, almost like he wanted people to watch the sequence themselves. He highlighted how rare it is for someone to stay calm under that level of control, and how the small choices in the scramble can define a whole fight.
Islam Makhachev, what he's achieved is unbelievable. He's a two-weight division champion. Anderson Silva didn't do that, and he has won 16 in a row, okay? So take a bow. Unbelievable. And it was domination from start to finish. He caught the single leg, and then he sweeps the other leg in round one. In round two, he pushes Jack up against the fence. Jack got a little bit too confident. He tried to go for a whizzer kick or a hip throw. On Islam Makhachev. What are you doing? You don't do that. He shouldn't be trying to...
Robert Whittaker immediately focused on how the legwork changed everything. He said Jack came in with sharp hands, but his stance started falling apart early. Islam attacked the legs faster than than he expected, and Whitaker felt that was the moment Jack's rhythm faded. He did not reveal every detail, but he made it clear that once Jack's base slipped, the rest of the fight got harder for him.
One angle of Jack's to work on would be his leg defense. I thought he's got top tier boxing, but I thought in his opponent's shoes, I would attack his legs first, try and slow down his try to slow down his him walking you down, try to take some of the power out of his hands by cutting off his legs, and open things up that way. Islam went straight for the calf kick within the first minute, straight for the calf kick, started doing some real damage to that leg.
He also discussed how those early kicks impacted everything Jack attempted later. Whitaker pointed out that Jack looked different when he tried to move or defend the wrestling. He said the usual scrambles were not there, and Jack did not look as strong when he tried to push Islam away.
The wrestling was always going to be a big factor in this fight. Yeah. Islam does what Islam does. But I think the leg attacks just took Jack's foundation away, his grounding in that tight-knit boxing that he likes to use. It affected not only his movement when he was striking, but his defense, his backing up against cage, his sprawl ability, all of it. Not to say though, Islam's timing was just sensational. Sensational. And then you also saw, so I mentioned earlier when we first started that Islam's cardio was in question, just him moving up. How was he going to go throughout the thing? It seemed like, even though Islam was being very physical to get these takedowns, Jack was losing that battle of attrition.
Demetrius Johnson focused on how Islam kept taking away Jack's balance. He pointed out that every time Jack tried to stand or reset, Islam pulled him off his base before he could settle. He mentioned that Jack usually worked well in open space, but this time he stayed stuck near the fence and never got the room he needed.
When you look at JDM's post and get back up and be able to get back into the gunfight, right? Islam did not allow it. If they show the highlights, let's see if they show the highlights right here. Okay. He would take JDM off his post. I know I've been saying it like a broken fucking record, but sometimes you guys don't listen to me. So he would take him off his post every single time. Right here, JDM went for that judo throw. Islam pushed him against the cage and took away all the space that he can get in order to be able to do something, right? And JDM was trying to get his hands going, but each time JDM has ever gotten taken down, it's been inside the middle of the octagon, never against his back against the cage. And each time he shot, he would get it.
He also talked about how Jack tried to get his hands working again, but Islam shut that down before it even started. Johnson noted that Jack's normal scrambles did not happen because Islam kept crowding him and removing all the space. He said the style of pressure made Jack look like he had fewer choices every time he got taken down, without going into every small moment.
And it was something he said, JDM did a good job of not wrestling up. Each time he did, he would always go 2-on-1. And you know what the thing that's kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, that irritates is that I think Islam should have both.
Sean O'Malley started by talking about how sharp Islam looked right away. He noticed the clean shots, the low kicks, and how fast Islam changed levels. He said Jack came out with a good stance, but the pressure hit him quicker than he expected.
22. Jack Della Maddalena comes out southpaw. Islam lands a beautiful low kick. Islam's got underrated striking. It's very clean. Very clean 1-2s. Good up, good pull 2-3-2s. Islam looks fucking thick. Jesus, dude. Jack's got a high guard. He's got a low stance, high guard. Another nice low kick from Islam. Jack's coming and punching the pace. That low kick's getting, leg getting eaten up low key a little bit there. There it is, head inside, single leg. God damn it, that was so.
He paid a lot of attention to how strong Islam looked on top. Every time Jack tried to frame or find space, Sean pointed out how little room he actually had. He kept bringing up how heavy Islam seemed and how hard it was for Jack to reset once he got stuck.
Fucking clean. Look how fucking strong and heavy he looks right now. He looks like he could hold it, like there's no space to get up. He's trying to frame, he's trying to find space. Can't get his arm in there. Islam looks massive. Look at his back, Jesus. Looks like my back. Jack trying to get an underhook on the left side. There's absolutely no space to get an underhook on the right side. I wanna see Islam versus Ilya so bad. I just can't picture Ilya getting put on his back like this. But I'm like, if Islam can do this to JDM at 1 fucking 70. Oh, good sweep. Get up. Oh, no. Dude, Islam is freakishly strong. Bro, grapples like me. Islam, no! Don't take his back yet!
Later, O'Malley reacted to how the rounds kept getting tougher for Jack. He said the kicks and the wrestling made Jack slow down, and that some of his choices started looking risky because his legs were tired. He did not explain each exchange, but he made it clear that the timing and pressure never went away. His focus stayed on how hard it was for Jack to create anything clean once Islam found his rhythm.
I mean, you do a bump here, you might just be able to get up. And 1-1, go to the third. It's a close one here, fellas. God, it's gonna be so much harder. His corner's telling him, move your feet. You're 10 minutes into basically a wrestling match, and now you're being told to move your feet. And you're like, God. Trying, man. Trying. All right, round 3, fellas. Here we go. Jack can't be throwing these lazy kicks. Lazy kicks you cannot throw right now. JDM's walking him down, but you gotta respect. You gotta get your hips, get ready to get your fucking hips back. Right there, just a feint to a double leg. The timing on that.
At the end of it all, fans got way more than just a title fight. Islam put on a strong performance, the reactions kept coming in, and the whole Dillon situation turned the night into something nobody expected. It felt like every part of the event had its own shock value inside and outside the cage. So now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments below how you felt about the fight and all the madness around it.